Hello and welcome to the Soil Course video on what a qualified individual should expect to do after sampling. Our group, the Soil Core team, received funding from the USDA NRCS to help train qualified individuals to perform soil health testing. The goal of this CEMA is to monitor soil carbon before and after an NRCS implemented conservation practice. Resources complementary to the information found on this module can be found at boisestate.edu/soil conservation. As the qualified individual, you will need to complete the following after sampling. You will need to clean your equipment, keep your soils cool, and send your soils to the lab. First thing you want to do once you're done sampling is clean and disinfect your tools. A detailed description of how to clean your tools can be found in the tool SOP, or a visual instruction can be found on our How to Clean Your Tools video. Cleaning and disinfecting your tools is an important step to prevent them from rusting, as well as preventing the spread of any disease or fungi to another place. Keep your soils cool. While it might be difficult to keep your soils cool while in the field, finding a shady place, such as under a tree or crops, or even under your car, should suffice. Using a cooler is optimal, however not required for the CEMA. Once you bring the soil samples from the field back to your residence, either keep them in a cooler or on the countertop with the Ziploc bags open, or in the fridge with the Ziploc bag closed. Samples must be kept cool until shipping. You must ship samples within 2 weeks of sampling. Sending samples. When sending samples to the lab, you first and foremost need to find the lab that's closest to you and has the correct certifications. To do this, we recommend you go to our website, boisestate.edu/soil conservation, navigate to verified qualified individuals, and scroll to the recommended labs section. In this section, you should see a list of labs we have called that meet the requirements of the CEMA 221 and conduct the proper tests. Find the lab either within your state or closest to you. We recommend visiting their website or calling the lab itself to check if there is a different address they use for UPS versus USPS. Next, you will go to the chosen lab's website and fill out their soil request form. You will need to fill out the description of the sample to correspond to the Soil Core field questionnaire, which then also corresponds to the soil sample itself that you're sending to them. For example, our sample is Fiddler's Green Pasture to describe the farm, 1 to describe the first sampling location, and the interval depth in this case is 15 to 30. If you're doing the soil carbon stock monitoring, you will need to fill in all 24 sample identifier names. If you do the citizen science sampling, you will need to fill in 36 sample identifier names. Next, you will need to request the appropriate tests. We recommend drying and sieving, bulk density, acid fumigation for carbonates, and soil organic carbon, SOC, by combustion. You may need to take an extra step with your soil samples if you're sampling in certain areas with quarantine soils. The NRCS should know this during the pre-work conference meeting, whether the producer's operation falls under quarantine soils. Follow the USDA-APHIS regulations for prohibited, regulated, or quarantine soils. Now you get to prepare to ship your samples. You may need 2 to 3 boxes for shipping the CEMA 221 samples. In the box, there will be 8 to 12 samples and a copy of the soil request form. The shipping address of the lab should be on the outside of the box. There are 2 options we have explored for shipping. USPS is $26 per large flat rate box, and 2 to 3 boxes is about $78. This is likely the best bang for your buck due to the box weights, and you can order USPS materials for free online. Another option is UPS. UPS is $29.25 per simple rate box, and 2 to 3 boxes would be $88 max. Double check if IDs are all recorded on both the submission form and on the field questionnaire, and note what date and where you send the sample to in the field questionnaire itself. Our next module will describe how to fill out the field questionnaire with the results you receive back from the lab. Now you are prepared to clean your tools, send your soils, and double-check your paperwork. If you have any additional questions, please contact the Soil Core team at soilconservation@boisestate.edu.